welcome to our 77th, I believe. Hopefully I'm keeping track correctly. Episode of Guerrilla Radio. Guerrilla Radio. Live. Kind of. I'm Joe Caprino, and I have the Mike Reiser here, fresh off his second Al Smith announcing debut. Notice I am coming to you from the Al Smith Classic. Fans are still there, so hopefully, they're staying the night, Sunday evening, and they're here. So, Mike, how's the voice doing?
Better than last year. I learned a valuable lesson. Hydrate as much as we can. Man, I was last year, the first year I did it, I came home after night one, and I didn't know if I was going to make it through night two or day two. So, but drank a lot, had a good time, lots of good wrestling. Voice sounds better. A little bit of a far drive. I might have to hit Nick up next year, stay at his parents' house and crash out. That drive's not fun at like 5:30. I was trying to explain to people today that we don't live, getting this ever-long debate of what the region is. And, they're like, all these, guys in the region. And I'm thinking, like, do they think that South Bend's the region? Like, there were some years where, like, Penn was winning state titles and Mishawaka was winning state titles that have been really cool to, like, claim them as part of the region. But that's, like, the Michiana area.
Yes.
Region, Northwest Indiana. So, pretty far. I don't know. I seen someone posted on there they can get to downtown Indy closer they can get to the region. So
that's their definition. No, it's not the region. Even though my running joke is always, and they'll claim anyone if they're good at wrestling. I mean, I've heard of Lafayette. Lafayette will be claimed if they get good at wrestling as the region, because it's obviously the only reason it's good is because it's the region. So even Fort Wayne might be claimed if we ever rise back up to the top. So
yeah, we're claiming AJ Poindexter though.
You can claim certain wrestlers. You get one out of the district, or actually three. Kind of like Disney, you can pick up three kids from different schools. So it's you can pick up three and claim them as Regionites. So it's a great tournament. Might as well just dive deep head first into the Al Smith. Great tournament. It's as deep as it's been. Adding the teams they added, it was Snyder, Plymouth, and I thought
Snyder and Plymouth this year, right?
Yeah.
The two new teams.
I thought there was another new one. Maybe I'm wrong, but
because they dropped, or they didn't drop, but Calumet got out and Lawrence Central got out.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. So
it sounds like there's an opening next year.
Yeah,
maybe for who? I don't know.
That's
because of the two schools combining.
Yep. So, and I think if I did my calculations correct, and sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, I believe every team had a placer this year, and I know past couple years there's been a team or two that did not have a placer, which that's pretty good. I mean, that's always you always kind of look at the bottom and see, okay, so who needs to be given the boot this next year? Not in putting in. I mean, they've been able to bring in Cathedrals. This is only their third or fourth year there. Crown Point's their second or third year. Perry's, I think, their second year. Those are top three teams. Chesterton's been there for a while. Penn, obviously. Hobart's been there for a while. Northridge is a newer team. Zionsville's been there, I think, for a while. Obviously, Carroll is semi-new. But, yeah. But, yeah, it was a great tournament.
He's a grinder, man.
Yeah. Yes. Looking at going. The going comment? Or no, what are you talking about?
Yeah. No, I'm just talking about the tournament in general. Yeah. I figured we were going to go over the base. So we'll get to see him going in about, like, the first wave. So,
yeah.
But I think... we actually someone came up and asked if how many teams had a wrestler going, and just out when we were going over it, every team I think had someone going second day, which is pretty cool. It makes it a lot more fun for everybody. You got everyone back.
Yeah.
The team race was close for a little bit, and then Cathedral really ran away with that thing. they're a lot better than I thought they were in some spots. I knew they were good. Usually the old like Cathedral thing was that they had their horses, and then it was the old they'll pin guys and then they'll get pinned, and I think man, they were really really good. Even like their middle of the line guys were out there competing. I think that's to those guys, the coaching staff does a really good job. I was telling someone, I know every year at the state final, right before state, we always put this on there, like the coaches with the highest winning percentage on Friday night, and Coach McGinley's like right up there, like right towards the top. They win a ton Friday night. They get a ton of medalists, and which is like that's the craziest thing because it's not like they're not like 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 7. It's like 80 out of 100.
Yeah.
So if you got a Cathedral guy Friday night, they're going to be prepared and they're going to be really good.
Yep, they had 12 guys place, which that's at this tournament. The depth of the field with the teams and stuff, having 12 guys place is just kind of stupid. And they had their horses. They had they had Seltzer, Bailey, Rogers, all in the finals. Gould and Parsons also. But they also had a lot of guys just play. I mean, just they did what they needed to do, and they got to the second day, which is pretty good. Just as that when I started looking at,
they're missing a guy.
Yeah, they're missing 32.
Because 32. Andrew Wilson, returning state qualifier.
Yeah.
So
he probably places at 32.
That was one of the guys that didn't make it to the second day.
Yeah. So the guys that didn't make it, I think they're getting fired. No, no, but that's pretty impressive. If you would have said beforehand, they're going to place 10, I'd say maybe 12 would be. That's I remember it's Penn probably about 10 years. I think it was like when Penn won state. I think they got all. They placed all 14 guys, but that was not that the Al Smith was down, but it's increased intensity a lot more over the past few years. So it's it's one of those things that it'd be very hard to place that many guys. And I can't remember, it was probably about 10 years ago, but they ran away with it, and they might have had like 10 in the semis or something just dumb like that. But if you get a team of 10 in the semis, they're going to run away with our state title pretty quickly.
Well,
at this level.
Dane was talking about that. Dane was talking about that on his podcast at the Double Eagle. The year that Lawrence North, what year was that? Was that 04 when they knocked off Mater Dei?
Yeah.
That was one of the first years, one of the top years that they were at the Al Smith, and they knocked off Belmont. And they had a bunch of guys. It was I think they had a handful of champs. I don't have the packet in front of me. I seen that Dane helped them get the history sheet back, which was pretty cool. But that was the year they had Humphrey and Thomas Johnson, Mo Guns, Corey Schneider, and dude, they had a bunch of David Gans.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of dudes in the finals. They had a bunch of champs. So definitely getting back to that level of mid-season state finals.
Yeah, definitely.
I was actually just telling someone this is. I always find this super funny. So the year Hector Mendez won it in 2002. The year Hector Mendez won it in 2002, I don't even think he placed at the Al Smith.
Yeah.
I don't think he made it to the second day, and he was the state champ. And everyone always likes to say, man, what weight was Jesse's dad when he won it? And I'm like, I don't think Jesse's dad's 120-pound Puerto Rican guy that's small and black. But there's a lot of people that believe that Hector Mendez from East Chicago is Hector Mendez, Jesse Mendez's dad.
Well, it's I guess the Hector Mendez that won a state title, I guess that's not a bad problem to have. Oh yeah, that's my son. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think, would the math even add up? So how old is Jesse?
Jesse is what, 6? He'll turn 17 this year sometime. So he was born in 2003. Yes. So Mendez graduated in 2002. I know that because he wrestled Indy, won the finals. So it's possible.
Possible. That he did 2 years at a community college.
Yeah.
So
it's very possible. I mean, might have been a prom baby.
Yeah, it happens. This region, but they but I mean, that just speaks to, I guess we're back on topic.
Yeah.
Like that just speaks to how like tough the tournament's been in years where our state champ didn't even place there. A guy that won state.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if East Noble was there that year, but probably 36 and
Yeah.
16.
Yeah. I'm pretty certain East Noble was there. East Noble was there for a while, and then they kind of booted him about 10ish years ago, maybe a little bit less. Not exactly sure. I know that was not a well received reason. I don't know exactly. I just remember some East Noble guys were not happy about them being out of there. But yeah, it definitely is. It seems. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, out of the top 20 teams, there's a lot of teams there that are pretty darn good. And even you look through the bottom portion, you know, you got like Prairie Heights, Lake Central, Prue, Northwood. They're all bringing good kids. They're bringing 2 or 3 pretty tough kids that are gonna, and their other guys are gonna battle, and they're gonna be guys that, you know, can win matches on the backside. You know, and that's one of the, you know, gauges I know for us is, you know, okay, I'm not expecting you to place, but I want you to win some matches on the backside, wrestle tough with the better kids and see where you're at, and that's, you know, you can win those. And beating kids from all those schools is, you know, you're not getting any slouches very often against those schools. So, yeah.
No.
So I'm curious who's going to get added.
Do you think you can name a placer?
Say that again?
Do you think you can name a placer from every school? I did it off the top of my head at the main table when someone asked. We don't have to do it.
Nah, I have the track. I can do it because I have the track wrestling thing pulled up right now, so I could off the top of my head. So yeah, yeah, definitely.
Without looking at track wrestling, I'll give you 2. See if you can get them. Elkhart Central.
Say Davis. I think it's called Say.
Is it Say or is it C?
I think it's Say. I believe.
I call them C.
All
right.
That one's easy because they're from my semi-state and stuff. But
all right. What about Warsaw Community?
Oh, that was easy because we wrestled the kid, Brock Huber.
There you go, man. Everyone had a guy. That was like 29 and 30.
Yeah.
I couldn't give you 28. You would have got 27. You would have got 26. You would have got 25. I think you would have got. Yeah, I mean, It was just a very good tournament.
Yep.
Who do we think's gonna get brought in? I've heard some rumors, not from anyone of like authority, just like floating around. It would be cool.
Who's thinking about?
You know.
Do you want to name drop, or do we want to keep that on the down low? Even though.
Do I want to tell you who said it, or do I want to say like? No, obviously, I think the easy one that like I think people automatically go to is like Brownsburg.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously Derek was there. He left, not on great terms, I would assume, but they just went to Illinois. I mean, I don't know. Brecksville's like got a weird schedule. I think that one's the easy one to say, hey, like, let's bring these guys in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that'd be one
I'd like.
I mean, that would be that would be fun.
Yeah.
I mean that's, and then the bad thing is I know teams going to team state. There's already 6 or 7 that are at this tournament already. You know, Cathedral, Perry, Mishawaka, Penn, Columbus East, Carroll. I believe that might be it for the big school. So yeah, we got half the teams already there. So
you know who me and Nick said we wanted in the group text. Madison, the big guy.
Oh yeah, we got to bring big double B, triple B, and he might be coming in. I don't know. They have some. I mean, they're some good guys. So yeah. So I guess might as well.
Maybe Easy Ed.
Yeah, Carmel might be interested. That'd be a good ad. I know they've been to Connorsville for a year or two, like everybody else, and then they're at Mooresville right now, which is a little bit shorter drive. And yeah, I don't know I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
So, I guess let's go through the weights and kind of go what we saw in each weight class. First off, I know we were kind of talking about this offline, but I don't think the seating went very well this year. There's some reasons. Trying to go off records a lot of times is not the best thing, especially when at this time of year, some teams have 10 matches, some have 20. One loss out of 20, we were looking at one weight class where a kid got a seed because he was 20-2, 20-1, whatever, and the other kid didn't, who was a lot better because he was 10-1 or 11, something like that. That's something that hopefully we can talk with Mr. Standifer and try to figure out a better way. We want to separate. The main thing is you want to get everyone separated, not have the top 10 guy wrestle the number 1 seed in the first round or the second round. That kind of stuff that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not. I mean, you want to get them separated.
I think it only happened a couple. Yeah, I think for the most part, like you see a lot. It was obviously you only see the it's like the official thing. You're only going to see like the call that you're like, oh man, that's a terrible call, but you don't see the other ones. But there was a couple where I looked at and I'm just like kind of like, man, that was that one was a little crazy for me. Like obviously like an Aiden Torres being really low in the seating.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the obviously I don't go to the seating meeting. I'm not there, but I mean I think he was like 21-1. His one loss was to Roberson in overtime.
Yeah.
And then he showed that that wasn't a fluke because he ran into the finals to wrestle over Roberson again and get a second loss to Roberson.
Yeah. And he
pinned her. Tristan Roman's really good.
Yeah.
Like and
Roman had been wrestling up at like 82 or something, so he had a couple losses up there wrestling up, and he
only had the one loss. He lost at 70. Wade Preston was wrestling at 82. He went back to 60.
Yeah.
But Roman, his only loss was to Dieters, right? Or no, he beat Dieters and lost to Solers, right? That was the only one.
Yeah.
He lost to Solers 1-0.
Yeah.
Like he's really good, and I thought like to have him and Fielden like second match it's it sucks for Fielden. Obviously you're gonna have to wrestle everybody, but like that's one you want to see in the semis. You want everybody in the same gym. When you came up with like, yeah, Fielden lost, I'm like, to who? And I forgot that he had Roman. I was like, yeah, that happens, man. They're both really good.
Yeah, no,
that'd have been even if he was like a 4. Or even if he's a 5 and he's feeding into that 4 or 6 and feeding into the 3, you don't want to see that like right off the bat. Or Caden Freed, you don't want to see Caden Freed and
Aiden Warren.
Aiden Warren, where Aiden Warren almost got knocked out that first match right off the scale, right off the chute because Caden Freed, the 2-time ticket rounder, but missed the season for injury.
Yeah, no, that was technically Roman was a 9 seed. And so was Torres. Torres got moved into a 1 seed or 8 seed because Humphrey did not make weight. So technically 2 unseeded guys made the finals. If you really consider that the 9 seed is only there to pull in, even though they are put in the bracket as a 9 seed. Technically, they're put in there so that if someone doesn't make weight or doesn't show up, that everyone moves down. And it's not a team, trying to get their backup kid a spot in the as an 8 seed or whatever. So everyone moves down. So it actually is fairly good, but yeah, that's there's a lot of things. It's hard to do it subjectively. In all honesty, that's one of those things that we can't do.
Tough.
So
no,
and you can't.
I don't have any kind of.
I mean, you can't put it on paper.
I don't have any kind of like affiliation.
Yeah, and
but like the guys that you work with every day, you're gonna have a better feel for. You're gonna think, oh man, I don't know, like who's a guy? Just throw one of your guys out there real quick.
Leper,
who's your guy at 6?
Yeah, Leper or 195 was 19-0 going in, and I kind of knew where he'd fit because he was. I mean, kind of based on. I mean, I knew where he should be seated. I didn't want to overseed him and put him at. I could have made decent argument for him to be a little bit higher on a 2 or 3 seed. But it's one of those things that I was like, I'd rather him underseeded, knowing he's going to get a seed up fairly high. I'd rather him be a little bit underseeded. That way he doesn't go in there like, oh, I have to live up to a 2 seed. I have to live up to a 2 seed and put all that pressure on himself. I don't personally. I'd rather unseed a guy. And we had our 45 who finished 5th. He was an 8 seed, and that was quite an argument just to get him on an 8. And I was kind of debating once it started getting down and knowing he was getting lower and lower. I kind of knew where I wanted him to be. I kind of, that bottom half of the bracket was going to be a little bit easier. Obviously, when you don't have to wrestle Brock Ellis in the quarterfinals, life's a lot easier.
Right.
So, it's one of those things. Like I almost said, screw it, we're not going to get seeded, and let's play this game and give him a little extra motivation. That type of stuff. But I guess I probably play a little bit differently. With guys as a coach, but some coaches, it's trying to win the seeding meeting, try to win that seeding meeting. But here, there's so many landmines first, second round. There's so many unseeded guys that are just lurking out there that I'm looking at. We had like our 220 had the Crown Point 220, who's not bad. Woods first round. I'm like, ooh, that's not a fun draw.
Yeah.
I knew that kid was going to be lurking in the, because he didn't have the best record. I knew he was going to be lurking there, and we end up winning 2-1 on a lock hands call. But at the same time, I knew that was not a draw I wanted, and get my kid seeded or not, in the Crown Point, it's like, hey, my guy's going to be a bad draw for somebody, and luckily we won. But it's one of those things that so many landmines sitting out there. If you go through, you see how many guys got upset first or second round that were seeded because there's so many landmines, and that's all that fun stuff that we can talk about when we ask for suggestions here. So,
yeah, I think obviously there's a couple you see right off the bat, you're even at 106, you see a Trevor Triana who missed time for injury, gets drawn of a hat, draws number 1 seed Ike Rubel first. Yeah, that sucks. And then you on the flip side, he wins one, and then he has a guy that I was really impressed with in the weight, Emmanuel Ellis from Snyder, who wrestled really well. And it's both those guys super good, man. But I guess back on track. Yeah. Seeding, I think it's a never-ending thing. As long as you have people that want to win the seeding meeting, you're never gonna have a true up and down this. There's always going to be people, that are going to be upset, and there's always going to be people that are they don't care if their kid gets the 3 seed and he ends up finishing 8th. They think that's a win,
Yeah, definitely. So, I guess let's go down through the weight.
Ike Rubel looked awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, to the finals. Tech fall, tech fall. See him going a little bit tougher route, fall. The match in the quarters, awesome match. That was a really good match. With Hayden Brady,
yes,
of Garrett. I know we had talked about it in text. I was asking hey, who's pretty good? At 106, I usually don't always rank the 4-win semi-state as fairly as I should. Maybe I do. What do you guys get? A 10% clip of medals? I think we're there. Hayden Brady, you're this kid's pretty good. He went into the rankings. Him and going 4-3. That was a really good match. He was pretty close to a takedown at the end or a reversal. I don't remember which one. It was time's expiring. He was impressive.
Yeah.
Evan Dickey and going. Also another good match, 3-0. I think it was 0-0 after 1. Logan Stuckman, 21-2. Ike Rubel was on fire. And then I think some people were asking me how I had Sam, and this is one of those questions, how do you have Sam going ahead of an Ike Rubel who was a state qualifier last year? And they had wrestled this summer, and I think Sam had beat him a couple times, or at least once, and Sam ended up getting the win. It was a really good match, man.
Yeah, that was a really
Dennis
good
Brady,
match.
Man, for real.
Rubel looked good.
It was.
In Goins' defense, he did wrestle Emmanuel Ellis from Snyder. Second match, who placed. Then he wrestled Brady, who was 3rd. Ellis was 7th.
Yep.
And then he wrestled Dickey, who was 4th. So he did not have an easy route. I mean, he did not have an easy match all throughout. And you know,
No.
and Rubel, I think did the Paramedian kid place? No, yeah, he did. He placed 8th. So he had him.
Yeah, he plays 8.
But then he had Stuckman, who finished 5th. So he had a tough route also, but he also, I mean, he looked real good. I was pretty impressed, and he had going on the ropes towards the end, and that's definitely a match that you kind of see going but they were both at IPO. I think Going got 2nd, and then Rubel was either a round or 2 from placing, so he was either 6th or top 8, which is pretty good there. So
man, I thought Ike was gonna finish that shot. He was in such a deep shot in the 3rd when he so he got hit. What did he get hit for? He got hit for grabbing the headgear.
Yeah.
Which basically put Sam up 1, and then it's like, oh, it's a takedown match anyways. And dude, he was in so deep on that shot, and then Sam fought it off, which is like takedown defense is incredible.
Yes.
I don't know if I would say he pushed the pace in every match, but he is so hard to take down. I'd be willing to bet he has single-digit takedowns given up on the season.
Yeah.
And then he came back right off that shot with a huge double and finished it. So, awesome match, and that's the way to kick off the finals. I mean, I guess aside, we didn't even talk about it. How great was it whenever they gave Al? I don't think Al Smith wanted to take the mic.
Yeah.
And then he gets the mic and asked everyone to stand up in the gym that's wrestled in the tournament. Everyone stands up. I didn't. We did not wrestle there when I was in school.
Nice.
And then, was Garrett there when you were there? No, right?
Nope. Garrett's only been there since 11 or 12, one of those years. So.
And then he got pretty choked up, so that was pretty cool. But Hunter 6, great way to kick it off. Sam Going, I would be willing to bet that could be a semifinal match.
Oh yeah.
At the state finals, I could see that being in the semis. Obviously, the 4 guys across the state that are kind of separated by semi-states with Suhas Chundi and Sam out of East Chicago, Ike out of Fort Wayne. And then Evansville is going to be a little bit more cloudy. It's going to be pretty good because I don't know if you guys seen that Cheney Schoaf made 106 in Ohio, but I know he's had a ton of success, and I know him and Sam have had some really good matches going back and forth. And they also have another Logan Miller.
Logan Miller, yes.
Just beat Sam, the number 1 ranked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 106 could be pretty good.
Yeah, and if you if you guys are just joining in, new rankings have been posted this evening, so go check those out. Mike's ready to hear, and he's already heard some a little bit of complaining.
Yeah.
So we'll get those updated.
I like it, man.
Yeah.
I think that I think that's one of those things I always say. I love the back and forth. That's why I do it. I just don't want it to be hey man, you're right, and we're just gonna follow what you say. I love that when people ask what I was thinking here. Austin Early hit me up on Twitter and asked me how I had Dickens jump Cooper Nori, and we get to that at 160. But we had a good back and forth. It wasn't I have love for that, man. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate anyone that reaches out, and I got the text from Tante asking me how I didn't do this. I was like, well, I didn't see those results, my guy.
Yeah, it helps if you see the results. So, moving on, 113.
They always talking my white walls, man.
Yeah, they're very well painted. I don't know. I mean, not everyone can.
I know.
Still be in Mishawaka. Wife's getting a little upset that I'm still there. Shows everyone else behind us. I see Mike. He's about right there.
Yeah. At the table, looks like I'm talking to Troy Hahn.
Han's telling you how many team points he just deducted from somebody. No.
Yeah.
Moving on.
113.
113.
Yeah, Cotty's still number 1. Looked good. Yeah. I think the best match that he had was that semifinal match, and I was kind of surprised to see Logan Frazier at the 4, because I know how talented he is, and I wasn't surprised to see how good that match was. And I mean, obviously he wrestled back to 30, but that match was awesome. That was a really good match. Yeah, Logan Frazier, Ryan Purvis in the quarters was an awesome match also.
Mm-hmm.
Not as close in the third and fourth place match. Frazier 11-3, but in that quarterfinal, you're talking, what was it, 6-5, and I mean Purvis was on the attack. It was pretty good.
Yeah, and then the
On
finals
the other
were
side,
a little less,
Trevor Shammer.
a little less dramatic. Good to see Trey Sturgill from Peru back. We had the APB out on him all last year. Didn't know if he was coming back, and so glad to see he's back. He obviously still pretty good. He finished fifth, sixth, fifth. So that's
Fifth.
good. Yeah. So
Same thing with Nick Olson. We had APBF for Nick Olson too.
yep, he came back. He made his way back. He had a good. That's a kid that we had in the rankings early. Didn't exactly see him in any results. I know Goshen's always posting the results on track, so kind of keeping an eye. Didn't see him. Olson won. Did he win freshman sophomore, or he was runner up? I'm pulling it up right now. I know he had a.
No, he was. I think he was a fourth placer.
Yeah, he had a good freshman sophomore state last year, so that kind of, especially the younger guys, lighter weights, that you have a little bit of results, having some data behind your name helps out tremendously. So that's 113, 120. Zeke Seltzer's a good wrestler, and him versus Bedic.
I mean that was a good weight.
Yeah, that was a real good weight. Late call there, Puckett. Seltzer looked really tough. The finals, that was a good match, and Seltzer, one of the things, I know someone posted it, kind of a little bit, pretty nice little breakdown. Just he found his, he waited, and when he found an opening, he had an opening, and he capitalized. Great shots, great finishes. He's definitely, we definitely need to do this again pretty soon. The one of the top sophomores in the state, if not second best behind Mendez. Obviously, he's been nationally ranked. He's Fargo runner-up. He's pretty good, but he had a real good tournament. And Bedic is no slouch by any means.
No, he lost last year to 1-0 or in overtime to Littell, right?
Yeah.
Overtime match there.
Yeah.
So it's not like what does he have? 3 losses in Indiana?
Yeah. Borman, Seltzer, and Littell.
Zeke Seltzer?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be willing to bet those 3 could probably be on the top 10 pound for pound list.
Yeah, yes. So past that, Malik Hall squeaked out some matches here and there. Ended up third, beating Puckett in overtime. Puckett had a pretty good tournament. I know he had a good tournament last year. Going down, Brady Esther from Snyder had a real good tournament. He looked pretty solid. I know he's always been one that's up and down sometimes, but had a real good tournament. Looked real tough. Another Snyder kid. Snyder's pretty good down low, up 132, 138. There's some pretty solid guys, and obviously 3 of those guys placed. One didn't get to wrestle, so they have some pretty good guys right there. So it should be interesting to watch those guys. I'll see them quite a bit in the next few weeks.
In the revised rankings, how many didn't place? I'd have to look at it. I know Johnny Cortez is still in the rankings. He didn't place. I didn't drop Drake Buchanan out. He's still in there. He didn't place. I have to go back and look at it all. I know there's a handful of guys that didn't place there that are still in the rankings. That just kind of got unfortunate draws.
Yes, you can maybe pull that up.
26.
26.
Roberson continued to be on fire, man.
Yeah.
He wrestled so well against Kyson Montgomery at the Carnahan, and then that was an overtime match. It ended up being 5-4, but I think Torres got a takedown right at the end. I think it was like 5-1 or 5-2, and then got a takedown to make it a little bit closer. But
late.
Really, yeah, Roberson wrestled really well. Fall beat Luke Gonzalez 6-3, Cade Meyer 3-1. He's just been wrestling really well. I think he gives guys fits. He uses his length really well, and I think he's a lot stronger than I think that he looks, just kind of being a taller wrestler. So he gets to some things and is able to finish.
Yeah.
I know his family was super excited down there. Really, really excited for him.
Yeah, Aiden Torres is a good wrestler.
Big upset in the. Yeah, really good.
Yeah. He beat Jace Alexander, who's a state placer. last year, pinned him, and that's in the quarterfinals. That was not a good draw for Alexander, and he was beaten. I think he was beating him fairly well.
I mean, even like right off the bat. I mean, not to like. I'm not complaining, man. I don't want to. Rag on it, but like you got Dominic Smith, 24-4, so he was 24-2 going into that match against, or 20-4-2 going into that match, and Aiden Torres' first match.
Yeah.
And dude, you're talking Dominic Smith wrestled all the way back to 7th.
Yeah.
From the opening loss.
Yeah. And Shamart also, did he place? He was unseeded too. I think this is a weight where there was 3 unseeded guys that placed.
He placed 8th.
Yeah, and so yeah, that was he looked real good. That was pretty much the top 3 or 4 guys did their thing, and then those guys. I mean, we knew Alexander's a tough wrestler. He's a state placer, obviously. He ends up 3rd. That's one of those matches we look at. Like at 170. Those guys should have been wrestling the semis. That should have been a semifinal match. That should have been one that everyone got to see, but they didn't. And I didn't even know about it until I was scrolling through some of the results and go, oh wow, that happened. And we were in that gym. So that's one of those things.
Yeah.
But
and I think that's like one. Yeah, you want the eyes, and I think that's like the big thing is. I heard that he did. Not to like harp on it, and I'm sure the officials watching that DQ'd him. I heard he used some foul language on the mat.
Yes, yeah. Cade Meyer used. I was right there. He was not asking for a referee's address for Christmas cards. So, yeah, that is why he got DQ'd. 126. That was pretty easy. 132. Jesse Mendez is good at wrestling. Also won the Outstanding Wrestler Award for the second time. Just so people know, the Outstanding Wrestler, it's been like this for a little bit. I'm sure Nick or Snyder could probably help us out.
Since at least 2002.
Yeah, is that how they've done it? Since I thought it was a little bit more recent, which meant like 10 to 15 years.
2002. I know that's how. When IndianaMat got back in 2002, that's how the most falls and the least amount of times by a champion.
Okay.
Was how they decided the Outstanding Wrestler.
Okay. I thought it was a little more recent because I thought I remember reading about it semi-recently that they changed it. I don't know if it was because I don't know the reason, if his coaches weren't turning him in or they were just voting for their guy that might have finished 6th, or what. And maybe IndianaMat needs to make their own Outstanding Wrestler. We give him a bobblehead of Nick Weiss-John.
We do the Harvest Classic, and we get like 16 coaches there, and I probably get like 9 people turning in Outstanding Wrestler forms.
Yeah, that's one of those things that's never a fun thing to do because you're always like, technically, I mean, the unwritten rules, you don't vote for your own guy, and then I don't know, it's one of those things. You have a committee of 2 or 3 people
how much of it
to vote on it, and then I think that's how you should do it, in all honesty, for something like this. That way you don't have to be tracking down the LaPorte coach for Outstanding Wrestler ballot, and he might have left after 113 because his kid was done.
Nah, they had a kid at 138, but they left without a wallet. Matt Neff. Matt Neff, if you were watching, man, make sure you call Mishawaka High School and get your wallet back.
See the things you learn here. So, yes. Back on track.
They, like, the headache, even at the Harvest, is like I'll have coaches turn their Outstanding Wrestler ballot in before even the finals.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like, okay, like, what if that guy doesn't win? Like it's still an exciting sport. Anything could happen. Yeah. Like, what if you pick? What if you? I mean, obviously this didn't happen. But what if you put in Jesse Mendez? Obviously he's a pretty good wrestler, and then Hayden Watson, who is no slouch by any means, goes out there and hits him in a headlock and pins him. What if that happens? And that all of a sudden, what? Guess what? My vote's probably changing. Even though I might have put Mendez in the first place, they're like, oh crap. That's one of those things that having coaches vote is one of those
things that you never know.
And I think luckily there's like still a handful of coaches at the Harvest Classic that really care about the outstanding wrestler because Hezi Default, Damari Dancy was one of the better matches there, and like they didn't have any votes going into everyone leaving. There was like 5 coaches like, hey, those guys are the OWs, and only 9 people turned it in. So I think it was like a 4 to 3 vote for Hezi.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing that I always hate is you could see. I mean, the bigger guys, everyone turns their stuff in. When if they don't have big guys, they leave, and they're like, oh yeah, well, but they don't vote for any of the big guys. The heavyweights always get the shaft there. They get to eat a lot, but they also don't get their the votes. And I know that there's a tournament that we went to. There was a really good heavyweight match, 2 pretty good guys. And, after when we were doing our votes, like, I'd vote for that guy. He won a good weight class, won a good match, and then, he deserves the award. But, yeah. Anyway, maybe IndianaMat needs to have a committee.
Yeah, I don't remember who won it, but, Isaiah McWilliams was wrestling the number 2 ranked kid in Illinois. So McWilliams was ranked 2, and this Illinois kid was ranked 2. And everyone had turned in their outstanding wrestler. It was an overtime match. Yeah. Went to, Rydos the year McWilliams was second. It was this is probably the match that should be OW.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own definition of OW. Some people are the guy that just kills everybody. Some guys like the guy that wins the deepest weight. Somebody that has the best final match. Who knows? It's such a subjective thing.
Yeah. So 132. Mendez is good at wrestling. Watson's pretty good at wrestling also. He's kind of one that got beat in the ticket round last year, and he's going to be one that's going to be high state placer. With what we saw at North Montgomery, that could easily be a finals match. Watson's no slouch. He's had a lot of success early on. He won freshman sophomore state. He's up 20 pounds. He lost to Gavin Allstott 2-1, who was a top 4 placer at semi-state last year.
Yeah.
So that's he's a pretty good wrestler.
I don't know. I'm trying to get Dane to let me know. How many people have won multiple Outstanding Wrestler Awards at the Al Smith? And I got a message from Sean Streck. He said he won 2. So I know that at least it's a tie, and he didn't win it as a senior. Drew won it. Drew Hughes won it as a senior, so he could have won 3. He was in line to win 3. So right now Mendez is 2 for 2. And to that, to even Zeke, there's only been 3 guys to win that tournament 4 times.
Yeah.
So both those guys are 2 for 2 right now.
Yeah, well, you know why Streck did not win it his senior year is because he had a forfeit in the first round. Or no, someone didn't. Someone injury defaulted to him early on, and then so he didn't have a pin. And Drew already had 4 or 5 matches, whatever it is. 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. He already had 5 pins. So Streck's like, I can't win this because I'm only gonna have 4 pins. So Streck ended up, I think he did, or he was about to tech fall as a guy in the finals. I was wondering, I was like, why are you doing? He's not usually one that go out there and kind of do that. But I guess he that was his way of protesting that he wasn't gonna be able to get that award because Drew pinned his way through to the finals. So he went out and either tech fault or almost tech fault his guy in the finals. So a little funny backstory.
And I would be willing to bet, to give Sean a little bit more pat on the back. I'd be willing to bet there's not a lot of 4-time Al Smith medalists at 285 pounds.
No.
He medaled as a freshman all 4 years. Was in a medal round at the Al Smith, even as a 14-year-old.
Yes. So 138 pounds. Logan Bailey put it to Logan Wagner. Thought that'd be a little bit better match, but Bailey looked really good on his feet, which is kind of somewhere where everyone thinks the Baileys aren't as good. But he had some real slick stuff on his feet and made did some really good stuff. Obviously turned Wagner a couple times. Wagner did not look like he was enjoying his life when he was on bottom. he did not like that.
Bailey ultra impressive. I thought this was a really good weight actually. Across the board, just a deep weight. Logan looked awesome. I didn't see Grandma Bailey there, but I seen Braden there. Braden was doing a little coaching. Yeah, Wagner and Kuntz in the quarters. Is it the quarters? Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good match. That one was one that I thought. I think Kuntz being his first tournament of the year. Maybe down the road that could be one to watch. I'm not sure how that all breaks down, like regional wise, but that was an 8-7 match, and Kuntz was right there to the end. I think Wagner ended up getting him right at the end.
Yeah. No, that's yeah, that's a good one. Good weight overall. You have, Kuntz finished third. Wrestled back to third.
I think he finished third, right? Yeah.
Tatini and Kyle Lawson's had a, been to state. He finished seventh. From Belmont. Nicely from Laporte. He's pretty solid. He had a pretty good tournament. Like how Neff is being warned that he had left his wallet. I assume he's being tagged in that. So
yeah, I called them a couple times to the announcer's table, but I think they had just left.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, he's not going to be able to. I hope he doesn't get pulled over driving without a license. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
A little bit. I like to have seen one of the other Crown Point young guys there. Cody Goodwin didn't wrestle it, but when you have the depth with Tatini to step in and medal there, pretty good. But I like to have seen how Cody Goodwin wrestles in there. I think that would have been another top 4 guy competing. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's had a lot of success, and you're talking, on the new rankings, Cody Goodwin's 4, Bailey's 2, Wagner's 7. So I mean, definitely, I want to see where he matched up in there because I know that he's really talented. Cody Goodwin.
Yeah, be a good test for him. 145. Brock Ellis is pretty good. Closest match was 6-1, and I was coaching on that mat, and he wasn't too much in danger very often. He's pretty big at the weight. He's not like he's huge, but he's pretty well built. I'm sure he goes to the weight room once in a while. Orlando Cruz, freshman.
He holds position so well, right?
Yeah, yes, he does. He's hard to get out.
You have to coach against him. Like, he doesn't get out of position.
No.
Like, if you score on him, you're gonna have to really get him, like, kind of trick him a little bit because he's so good at his defense is so good he doesn't get out of position at all.
Yeah, no, it's so hard. Obviously the shorter, stockier guys are harder to wrestle also just because you have to break through that head-hands defense, and then you get to those, thick legs, and, trying to hold on to those legs is not easy unless you're pretty strong. So you got to really get him out of position and be able to finish quick and not have to fight his hips and legs, that stuff. So I guess Matt does have his wallet. So
Tyson misses. There we go, man. I appreciate it. Tyson misses the shot.
Nice. So
when I found it, it had that 20 out of there.
It's a tip. It's a tip for ranking. A ranking tip. You right?
Yeah.
So you'll see Matt Neff in the rankings, right?
Uh-huh.
Is he in the rankings?
Yeah. Matt Neff said he left 200 in there and he got it back with nothing. What's up with that?
Oops. Hey, you want to be ranked? Hey, he's in at 15th. So hey, what are you complaining about?
We'll get there. He's coming up. But we'll get to that. Guy at 45 that really impressed me. And that's another one when I looked at the bracket, Garrett Stewart getting drawn out of the hat. I was like, man, that's going to be tough. And then he draws Caden Lone, the freshman, right off the bat. And it's Garrett Stewart ran that to the semifinals. Russell Orlando Cruz 3-1. Dude, he looked like he was really, really strong.
Yeah, he's. I got to sit in chair against him. He does lift the weights also, and obviously the Stewarts are known to be very big individuals. So next year he might be at like 195. I don't know. Yeah, he's pretty big.
I think he's like a track guy, right?
You guess.
I think that's what Braden was saying, that he's like a hurdler. He runs the hurdle.
Oh wow, that's kind of impressive because he was. I won't say he was tall, but he wasn't very. I mean, he wasn't. When you think about hurdle, you think of someone a little bit taller. He was not very tall, from what I saw. He might be a good sprinter.
I'm sure.
He just runs. He might, as thick as he is, he might just run through the hurdles. So.
Yeah.
So
He had a really good tournament. I know he was on the watch list. Came all the way through, got third, beat Brady McKivitz for that third and fourth place match. I'm not positive. I think McKivitz was one of the ones that were upset with some of the calls. I don't know what match that would have been.
yeah.
I didn't see. I mean, obviously, I'm watching a bunch, but his two losses were to Stewart, so I don't think there's a Central Indiana bias for the North from there.
Nice.
No problem, man. Someone else found it and brought it up there. I just called it.
Yeah.
Simeon Norton had a good tournament. That is how you say his name. Last year I was saying Simeon, like the high school Derrick Rose went through. And I was like, man, it's probably Simon, right? Like, I'm just going to go Simon. And then they came up and told me it is Simeon. So Simeon Norton.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a good tournament.
As another talented freshman.
Yeah, I mean, as a weight was pretty solid top to bottom. Obviously, when you have a Garrett Stewart being drawn out of the hat, he didn't have. I mean, that's one of those things that Cathedral wrestles a good schedule, and he came in there with 3 losses. I think it looked like it was like 10-3 or something, and that's one of those things that he's a good wrestler. How do you get him seated? That's one of those you have to know the kids, like, okay, that kid's pretty good, but he didn't have much data. I think he was either JV or was injured last year. Is that correct? So it's hard, not very much data.
I don't even know if he went out last year.
I know he has some limited results.
It was unfortunate for Caden Lone, who is a talented freshman, man, and you're a 3 seed. Now you have to rush all the way back, and he ends up losing to your guy in the Al Smith blood round.
Yeah, and the blood. I mean, you draw into, and I didn't realize he was 3rd seed. I probably would have, been a little more worried, but I didn't realize he was like 3 seed until like afterward. I'm like, oh cow, holy cow, we did what we need. My kid was an 8th seed. He did what he needed to do. He made the quarters. Obviously lost to LS, and then your reward for doing what you're supposed to do in your seeds, is you get drawn to a 3 seed, who, I mean, that got upset because of a poor draw. So,
I wasn't upset with his. I wouldn't think I was upset with his seed. I'm more upset that like Garrett Stewart wasn't seeded, because Caden Lone, I don't think he had a loss, or he had a single digit loss, or a really low loss, maybe 1. And he was a middle school state champ, right? At like 130 last year.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm not like upset that he seeded.
I think he had a win, if I recall correctly. He had a win over. He beat the Northridge kid, who came in with a 10-1 or 12-1, a pretty good record. That's what got him there, and I want to say maybe the Northridge kid maybe beat Norton. I don't know. There's some head-to-head there that kind of got him bumped in there. And then you had Buchanan from Jimtown, who was undefeated there, and he ended up finishing 7th. So it's one of those things that that's where Buchanan got in there. I think Buchanan beat Lone, and Lone, I'm fairly certain he beat the Northridge kid. So that's kind of how that played out. And that's how he got bumped up, because the Northridge kid would have been right in there, based on seeding there. But
was it Garrett? I thought there was a different Stewart. I didn't think it was Gavin that broke his ankle one year. I thought there was another Stewart. There's a one between Ben and Gavin, right?
I mean, Garrett. Garrett's the one that's wrestling now. Yeah, I thought there's a third, and I thought he might have graduated a year or 2 ago.
Yeah, that was the one that broke his ankle at the Trikoff one year.
Okay.
Like, turn that thing around. They basically I remember Cathedral was like, nah, we're done. Wrap them up, raise their hands, we're out of here.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah. Norton, man, we're getting love here. No, Norton came in with I had the wrong bracket up. I don't know. I just know the how the seeds worked. It was kind of interesting how sometimes things got switched around.
Dylan Stewart.
Yeah, Dylan Stewart. Okay, yes.
Thank you, Mrs. Slivka.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Ben, Dylan, and Garrett. Dylan, yeah, that was nasty. That was like one I remember they were like, it was like a pretty close duel still too, and they were just like, nah, like raise them up. It was like took a long time to get it like situated. It was bad.
Yeah.
Not as bad as when I think Derek Snyder's last year at Mishawaka, the score like against Cathedral, I want to say it was Cathedral. Like they got to the point where they couldn't win even if they pinned out, and he was just like, "All right, raise everyone's hand. We're getting out of here."
Nice.
I think they closed it with like 4 or 5 forfeits. Hey man, you gotta get on the road.
Yeah, you gotta get home.
Get it.
152. Cade Law won a pretty solid.
52.
Yeah. Cade Law won a pretty good weight class.
Yeah, underrated, man.
Yeah.
Underranked Cade Law. On the new rankings, Cade Law made a nice jump to number 7. I think he was like 11 or 14. Wrestled really well.
Yeah. That was a pretty wide open weight class. A lot of really good guys. Law, Tyler Turley looked real good. He was on right around the same mats I was. Looked pretty good. Shane Bates looked pretty good. Scotty Saylor, I pin him all the time. But Turley Hollis looked pretty solid. Pretty good weight class. Like no real big front runner.
Yeah.
And, I mean, no super headliner, but winning that weight class is pretty solid. Pretty solid weekend. I didn't see the Law versus Turley match, but I know. I mean, Law. I saw him a little bit. He looked real good. So he's one to watch out for. That weight class definitely. There's a lot of really good guys. Bryce Coleman's wrestling pretty well, but at the same time, you have guys like Jonathan Curvin, Briar Hall, Logan Bowe, Jordan Douglas, Dice Freegee, Cade Law. I mean, that's a pretty wide open weight class.
If it isn't Dane, the star from the Double Eagle, coming on here throwing shade at the Al Smith.
Yes, I did get yelled at because I was trying to invoke a little bit of common sense that hey, this guy's a state qualifier, and I got yelled at, but I don't care because the person didn't know who I was, which is fine. He obviously doesn't watch this.
It's all right, man.
I like laying low.
You look a lot skinnier and have more hair in real life. It's tough.
Yes.
I barely know you when I see
you. Yes. So, any other comments on 152? Other than, I mean, and Bates looked pretty good.
Nope.
Bates is pretty tough. And, I mean, that's just a good weight, top to bottom. 160. That was a good finals match, to say the least.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
someone asked me today, they were like, oh man, that Rogers Levitz was an awesome finals. I said Levitz and Winland was a really good semifinal match.
Yeah, Levitz. Yeah, that was a real good. Yeah, Levitz tried to lose that. He was doing his darndest and then found a cradle. They had like a double.
He got tossed like dead to his back.
Yeah, they were like they had like a double cradle, and then at the end, and then Levitz ended up coming out on top. He vaunts a double cradle. We practice it every day, 3 times a day. Even on Sundays when we have the vaunted double. Yeah, Levitz was down pretty big early on and came back and got the pin late. It was a crazy match. And then the finals, Rogers. That's one of those. Watching the match. After watching Rogers at State last year, I'm just like, okay, he's gonna pull this out. He's gonna pull this out. And Levitz just defended. I mean, Levitz. If you guys go back if you go to the Mishawaka Network on YouTube, you can watch that match. Just some great scrambling at the end, and Levitz doing these splits, and just I don't know how he didn't get taken down, and he kept and end up getting a couple takedown. He got a takedown late to kind of seal it. Just great match. A lot of great scrambling, high level wrestling. You know, Levitz and Rogers. Go ahead.
Which Levitz was right ahead of this one? Because there's a bunch of Levitz.
There was
what's the one that's right older than Isaiah?
Doug. Doug was bigger, a little bit. He was like a 60.
Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one year he wrestled like Bam at the out of IndianaMat, and I was like, dude, these dudes are awesome. They're like just like grabbing cradles out of nowhere, and they're like extra flexible. Yeah, they wrestle crazy. And then Isaiah, very similar, man. Like when they were getting those outside sweep singles, I was like, dude, it's gonna be really difficult to finish on this guy. Like he's in the splits, he's really strong in those positions. He can basically cradle you from anywhere.
Yeah, Jed. Sorry. How did I miss that?
Jed.
One? There are just too many of them. Yeah, Jed was the one that graduated a couple years ago. So
and,
yeah. What do you call a group of Levitts? I don't know. This is probably a bad joke. But yeah, great match.
Yeah.
That's later there. Oh goodness. Yeah, so that was a great match. Definitely 160 is going to be interesting. Come state-wise, semi-state, state.
Probably the match of the finals, right?
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I hate to say that it was probably one of the bigger upsets, but I mean, it kind of was, even though it was a 4-over-1. And Levitz, obviously returning state placer, he's done, you know, a lot of good things and a tough wrestler. So that's one of those that, you know, not a huge upset when you say it's a 4-over-1, but still, Rogers always seems to pull those things out, and that's what I was just sitting there waiting, like, okay, he's gonna pull this out. So that's gonna be interesting. That's, you know, obviously that's one of the new number ones there. We had 3 new number ones technically, even though before that we kind of knew one of them was going to drop. So, any other comments on 160? Winland obviously had a good tournament.
Yeah, I think he ended up getting injured in that one of the matches. No, just a good one. I think what is it? How do you say that? Steinbeck.
Yeah,
he was out. I think he was injured too. Hopefully he's okay. A talented freshman. Joanne Dale, I think he lost his first match and wrestled all. I think McKivich just posted it too.
Yeah.
Loses his first match to Wirtz by fall. And I think anyone, like, if you're in that wrestle back, man, that is just brutal. Comes all the way back from losing. Now he's in the rank. He's in the rankings in the new ones. But he goes 5-3 win, fall, 11-5 win against Davis from Zionsville, who had limited amount of losses. Pretty good. Beats him. Beats Sam Morrill from Columbus East. Then Wade Preston had medical forfeit. And then won the 3rd and 4th place match over Dinger. So,
yeah.
Dinger also loses first match to Davis and wrestles all the way back to 3rd. So, both those guys lose first match. Dinger goes fall, 5-2, 6-2, injury default against Steinbeck, fall against Wirtz, who put Dale in the losers bracket, fall against Tech fall against Winland, and then lost to Dale 5-3. So both those guys definitely got their money's worth this weekend.
Yeah, they want to get as many matches as possible. That's how they usually do it. They're kind of, you know, their parents made the drive, and they're like, hey, I'm going to get as many matches as possible. So. Yeah.
So pretty impressive for both those guys wrestling all the way back from the opening round, lost to 3rd place, 3rd and 4th.
Yeah. 170. Big story here. Tristan Ruhlman was technically a 9 seed, but really unseeded, and ends up making the finals. He beat Clayton Fielden, pinned him.
So Matt Neff also unseeded in that weight?
Neff would have been an 8 seed. So, and Ruhlman would have been a 9 seed. So, yes.
So, definitely, Matt Neff had only had the 1 loss where he got pinned at the War on the Wabash early on in that weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good weight.
You're gonna draw a guy out of the hat that beat Robert Dieters, and was a freshman sophomore state champ. And I think he dominated freshman sophomore state, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that was not a. I think that, I mean, obviously 1-2 were pretty. Fielden and Calhoun definitely 1-2 seeds. Lehman came in undefeated. I'm pretty certain. So that bumped anyone with a loss down. And then Simpson from Hobart, I think he was a semi-state guy. And then Abel Verbeek was a state qualifier. I believe Simpson beat Verbeek. So then that moved him up there.
Went up.
Yeah, so that's kind of how that. And then obviously guys like Ruhlman who have a loss, semi-state qualifier, he kept getting bumped down because of that. And then obviously he bumped down to technically a 9 seed, and that's something that needs to be fixed. But yeah, and that's a match out of
Tyler Wagner.
I got a text that Fielden got pinned, and I'm like, oh, what happened? Did he get that kind of stuff? And that, that's one of those things I'd love to watch high caliber matches. I don't want to, that's one that should have been in the semis. Maybe that might not have been exactly in the semis, but definitely, even him versus Calhoun was a solid match in the finals. If that had been a Calhoun versus him in the semis, that'd been a pretty good match. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, even on the backside, you figure if Calhoun in the semis, and then you move. Let's say like Lehman moves that 4. Lehman and Fielden was a really good match in that third and fourth. In that third,
for third.
In that semi to go the third and fourth place match, 3-2.
Yeah.
And Fielden beat Wagner 3-2.
Yeah, so that's one of those things.
Really good weight.
Yeah, Calhoun looked good. Obviously, everyone
really
was kind of looking for him versus Fielden. I kind of was, mainly because I know a little bit about both those guys, so didn't quite get that. And I know, it's going to be that way. That way, it's going to be kind of wide open. I think Calhoun kind of maybe a little bit separated, but there's a lot of good guys. You got Dieters, you got Ruhlman, Fielden, Solers, who's had a pretty good year. Solers, yep. So yeah, some good. Some good guys there. So
even outside the rankings, Lundy, Phillips, Matthew Morris, Sego, Simpson, Sneed, pretty good. Van Skinner is having a nice freshman season.
Oh yes. So
even though his dad doesn't care anything about rankings.
Yes. Let's see. We will go to 182, which is the worst seeded.
And then compared our rankings to the old rankings. What did he say? He was in the rankings before, and didn't mean anything back when I guess the rankings really didn't mean anything.
Yes. Oh yeah.
When they were 13% right.
Yes. Let's see. Come on. Can we go? Come on, computer. Okay, 182. Another great final. 1 versus 2 in the state. Warren and Walker. Walker looked really good. Even him against Lone. Lone's a 2-time medalist. Lone's no slouch. A guy that you're obviously Walker's probably the favorite now. He's kind of cemented himself as a favorite, but Walker's been to Lone's no slouch, and Walker started turning it up and started taking it to him. Pretty impressive there. Buchanan, Drake Buchanan didn't place mainly because of a draw. Warren looked solid. He obviously is on full feed and likes to eat. Had a tough one to Caden Freet. That's the death draw. Caden Freet and Aiden Warren first round, and I know there's like a stall call that kind of was kind of helped decide, made it a little bit more interesting there. So Freet ends up losing first round and wrestling all the way back to 7th, and then he also had, even in that first 4 slots there, you had Mark Mummy from Hobart, who's no slouch. You go down a little bit further, Shea Jackson from Chesterton had some solid wins. He's a Colorado State placer or state qualifier.
Yeah, Zion Mark Mummy, who was a semi-state qualifier at 220.
Yeah, Constable was he ends up placing, and then Jaden Browder, who has had some decent wins, he came in only with one loss. He was right there as the 8 seed, so he had some just a crazy, those first 8 spots were pretty loaded, and then that kind of led to some ugly blood round matches. You had Free and Buchanan in the blood round, and Free won that. You had Walton and Jackson in the blood round there, and Mummy and Jackson wrestled the round before that. So that was that was an ugly right there. Even in the consolations.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we knew that was going to be a tough weight, man.
Yeah.
We talked about the depth of that weight before. Johnny Parker looked really good. I was excited to see Johnny Parker for the first time. He had been around for a while. I think he's a junior now. He couldn't make the lineup. He was behind some really tough guys like Slivka and those guys. So, definitely good for him to get in, and he had a really good tournament.
Jeez. So, yeah. 195.
Dane? That's a legend. You use that with caution.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's the refereeing thing. So we'll try to stay out of that a little bit more.
That's such it's tough, man. That's not a job I want. Obviously, it's open for anybody. Yeah. If anyone wants that job, I don't think that they tell you can't have that job. It's not a job I would want.
No.
I would never want to go to work and have 300 experts telling me how I do my job all the time.
Yeah.
How many? Probably more than 300 people there, right?
Yeah.
There's probably 1,000 people there.
Yeah.
1,000 experts telling me how to do my job. I don't like one person telling me how to do my job.
Yeah. I have one boss of me. That's my wife.
That's not funny.
So, moving up to 195 pounds, Jacob Laplace looked really good. No Evan Bates, unfortunately. Definitely was a match that we kind of earmarked that we wanted to see, and didn't get. Bates, I believe, is a little bit injured. So instead, the Chesterton Trojans dropped down. What's his name? Gage DeMarco, who'd been wrestling 220. Yeah. He ends up placing 5th. So that tells you DeMarco is a tough wrestler, and he almost made the semis.
He's good.
So he was a takedown in overtime away from the semis. Laplace fall, major fall. Not really tested much. So he looked real good.
And he could probably make 82 for sure. Like yes. He's wrestled 82 this year, so.
Yeah. So, that's probably the story of that. Any other comments on 180 or 195 before we move on? Because we have to talk about Connorsville.
Yeah. I was happy that I learned how to say Ibrahim Couchka last year because he made it to the finals. So, and then we had the pronunciation on there, and Graver gave it to me, broke down, which is good.
Yes. Yeah, Ibrahim was on he went to Disney with a great kid. Glad to see him do well. He's pretty solid, and he got a revenge. He had a loss to Huber, end up avenging that. He was up pretty big. I think he got a little closer at the end. But that's good for him. So that was the 195 pound mat weight. Laplace's weight. Let's see if I can do 2 things at once.
220. Jason Streck got the win. Really exciting final. Goal and Streck families. Really good match. 5-4. Streck got a takedown right at the end.
Yeah.
But did Rudy win one? Rudy had to win one his senior year, right? His first loss was to Paris.
Yeah.
Sean had 2, I think Sean had was there. Rudy won for sure. maybe 2-2. No, he lost to your guy in the final 1 year, right?
Yeah.
He lost because he wrestled heavyweight.
He also lost in that heavyweight. Yes.
So he's a runner-up and a champ, and then so Jason as a junior getting a title for the Streck family.
Yes.
Pretty good showing. Pretty good weight overall. Like just a lot of exciting guys. Some guys that I had out for the semi-state. It was great because I haven't seen Fuentes Ortiz, and he had a really good tournament. And I had seen Horace Hill of South Bend Adams on a duel with Mishawaka, and he had beat Garrett Sandifer early on, and Garrett Sandifer came back. We had the rematch of Garrett Sandifer and Peyton Kendall from the vaunted Penn Mishawaka duel. Yes. Peyton Kendall got a win this time. But Jason Streck goal in the final was really good. It was just, I mean, I know we're talking a lot about Cathedral and their guys through the weights, but they wrestled so well, just putting 2 or 3 things together and just, really competing. They've done a really good job there.
Yeah, I definitely do not want to have the grocery bills of the Gould or Streck family, but they do not have small kids. And Streck is up 50 pounds from last year. Didn't. That's I see the weigh-in sheets, and I always kind of. Sometimes I find a couple kids. I kind of want to see what he was weighing. I could probably figure that out tomorrow, but he doesn't look like he's a full 220, but he's still pretty big.
Yeah, I think that there's like. Obviously, there's 2 ways to go. There's a lot of people that cut a lot of weight. You have guys like Jason Streck and Jacob LaPlace, and I would say Will Kreider's probably about 230, and he's had some success. Those guys are getting good, Those dudes are like, they're not going in and worrying about, okay, I have to lose 5 or 6 today. They're worried about, like, how can I get better today? It's very difficult to get better and, like, cut weight. Like, when you're really cutting, not losing. Like, getting in the room, you're going to lose, like, 10 pounds. So, like, whatever you start at, you're generally going to lose that. But, like, the guys that are coming in, that they're going to come in on tomorrow and be 15 over and have to wrestle, I'm thinking, like, those dudes are, you're going to be on the plane where there's guys that are eating every day and they're, more worried about, getting better all the time. So That's my rant for the week. Grinding gears.
Heavyweight. The 2 top seeds made the finals. Not a very exciting match in the finals. You had Hezzy wins 1-0. Basically, Parsons chose neutral in the 3rd period. Obviously, there's some coaching.
Was it Parsons that chose neutral or was it Hezzy? I was confused at how the scoring went.
I think it was because Hezzy. We'll see in just a second if I can pull this up. That was a very interesting. Yeah, I don't know what the reason and. To me, it didn't look like
Adam Sprague. He threw a chair on the mat.
Someone threw a chair on the mat, which hey, why not? Yeah, hopefully, that's Connorsville, man. Craziness, pure craziness.
Parents threatening to fight coaches, but not throwing not throwing chairs on the mat.
Yeah.
Was it at least? Did they at least get the call reversed?
Hey, go big or go home. They're gonna bolt the chairs to the Hezzy chose down, and then Parsons chose neutral. Obviously, there's probably something they saw that they thought they could take him down, or knew that Hezzy's decent on top. So.
Assassin, bro. Hezzy's good on top. He is that assassin.
Yes. So that's heavyweight.
That's how he got Damari Dancy.
Yeah. Yes. So any other comments on the Al Smiths? we got to talk about Connorsville. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, man. Just overall good day. Congratulations, another one that lost first round. Chad McLean from Hobart wrestled all the way back to 3rd. Had some big wins.
Yes, he did.
Over some ranked guys. I thought that was really good. Anytime that you lose that first match and have to wrestle back, and really good. I mean, there were some weights where you lost some guys that you were looking forward to seeing. Some guys weren't able to wrestle. We talked about Goodwin. There's a couple Hobart guys, Bobby Babcock, Cameron Smith, but really good tournament. Let's go to Connorsville. Let's do it. You ready? And then we gotta go to Mater Day. Then we go to Mooresville. Then we're coming back to Brownsburg beating DeKalb and
Oh yeah, yep,
North Mahon.
Man, you must see my generalized thing. I don't even know what to talk about Connorsville because we did get the brackets.
Silas, man,
we got the brackets. Holy cow!
Silas, 4-time champ.
Yes. And that's one thing we were talking about, trying to figure out if what other 4-time champs there were. I don't know. I mean, obviously people are saying Lance Ellis probably. Obviously, if they won all 4 years, that's pretty good. Given that he won it 4 years, but I don't know anyone else that.
You know what I loved about that post was when people were posting like what they did there back in the day.
Yes,
like that was the coolest thing.
Yeah,
dude, that was awesome. Dude, I thought that was great. Like, call that out, man. Yeah. Someone said Iron Ellie, and they're like, nope, I beat Iron Ellie there after he already lost to this guy. I was like, awesome. Vinny Casaro didn't win this one. Someone said Cody Phillips didn't make weight a year.
Yep.
That was awesome, man. So maybe it's just Silas.
Yeah, Silas and maybe Ellis. I'm sure there's some historians that probably know a little bit more about that. It's just one of those things. It's like, okay, there has to be another couple guys, but I mean, you think of the 4-time Al Smith champs, and it's only been recently where they've actually kind of increased. You had Randy Baker, and he never won a state title, which is very interesting. Was the first one for a while.
Yeah.
And you think of how many good guys just went through there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Kyle Erisman won 3, and I think he missed one like in the middle. He lost to Beck.
Yeah.
Like Galka lost to the legend killer, Nick Wiesjan.
Yes. Yeah, that legend killer. That video has been circling around the interwebs again, if you want to check it out. The best part about that video, I watched a little bit of it, was how it's one of those things I laughed about because because it's not something you see anymore. He had to go to the table, sign the score sheet, then take that over to the main table so they could input it in the computer. That was one of those things I just looked at. I was laughing at because obviously I assume that was his dad that was Big Jim that was recording that. He kept it going, and you just see him running all around the gym just to return the bout sheet to where it needs to go. the good old days of signing your bout sheet and returning it to the table, and then or the ones where you're like, hey, whoever won this match number 16, please return your bout sheet so we can go to the next round. I miss those days.
I don't. So, and we talked Counterville was a little bit down. I seen, obviously Southern Wells had a good showing. They had those guys right in the middle. I think they lost a couple though. I know they lost Cooper Norrie, which is a good match for those guys. I don't know if they're getting a lot of. What was that? Jed Perry, Cooper Norrie.
Yep.
Fichter, and what is it? Fichter? How do you say it?
It's Fichter and Poindexter, and that was a good match, I guess. Poindexter put on on Twitter. I think he was down like 7-3 and ended up winning 8-4 or 8-7, something like that. Late or 6-3, something like that. He was down fairly big in about 45 seconds to go, and he ended up getting a couple takedowns. Looked real good. And Fichter is, he's no slouch. That's a good, good match there, and that could definitely be a, first round on a Saturday morning, or second round match at state.
Yeah.
So,
Colin Kwiatkowski looked like he had a really good tournament from Valpo. Returning state qualifier. I think he won 82. Obviously, like the show there, Silas, man, he did such a good job. Such a good wrestler.
Yeah. Going through the brackets now to see if I see. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely with 32 teams, it's a little bit down. Logan Bowe won 152.
I seen Aiden Sprague's dad watching.
Yes.
He did really well. Champ there, 13 beats. Stefan Vitello is a good wrestler from Valpo. I know he's in the semi-state rankings. Gave him his second loss.
Yeah, there's a couple good wins. He had that Jake Necessary from Richmond. I know he's been in there in the Newcastle rankings. I assume he's still in there. I know he's been in and out. It's a name that kind of always sticks out. I was like, that's a interesting last name. And then I think there's Griffin Ingalls, who's pretty tough. I think he might have wrestled him too.
Yeah, from Fishers.
Yeah, he was at that. He's at 13. Oh no, he lost to Vitalio. Ingles is a pretty tough freshman from Fishers, not Hamilton Southeastern. Um, let's see. I'm scrolling through. Uh, yeah, some of these names I'm not 100% familiar with. Poindexter over Fichter, Logan Bow, and then obviously
Sam Hine got a good one at 120.
yeah,
Who was at 120? It was Sam Hine, and he ended up losing in the final, but it was a close match with Christian White.
yeah. Christian White's pretty darn tough too. Uh, obviously, returning state qualifier.
So that was two ranked guys.
Yeah, 2-1 final. Hopefully, someone puts it in there. I did import a lot of the results from those bigger tournaments. So I had about 200 of them. Jacob Duncan for Southern Wells went in 170. That's a good win for him. Kwiatkowski, Scott Stanley's no slouch either from Greenfield Central. Allred over Farrell, I guess. Farrell took him down, which is, and Allred had to beat a pretty good Kyler Funk, pinned him, but to just get there. Lane Pierce at 220 heavyweight. Is that heavyweight? Yeah. Josh Berger. There was no Will Kreider, so I don't know if he's injured or he hit the height limit for the weight class. He has to shrink a couple inches so he can wrestle. So
I know he's not overweight.
so yeah. Let's go on. That's the Spartan World Championship Classic of Connorsville. Where do we want to go?
We're going to go to Mooresville.
We'll head a little bit. We'll just kind of gradually keep going more and more south. Mooresville overall. Bringing up the brackets. So Carmel kind of ran away with it. They're pretty solid top to bottom, which the field was deep in some areas.
Suhas Chundi over Cash Turner.
That's a good win. Suhas is a pretty darn good wrestler, and he's pretty smart from what I've heard. Come on, brackets. Man, my computer's slow today.
Brad Cooper over Dylan Driver.
Yeah.
Dylan Driver, Westfield. So Brad Cooper having a good season.
Yeah.
Good one at 120. Carson Eldred over John Robinson. John Robinson was state qualifier last year, right? 5-0.
Yeah, and Eldred was a qualifier in a top fourth placer 2 years ago. Then Braden Spears, who was
126, the Bandit.
Yeah, the Bandit's up at 126. Yeah. He's Cameron Allen, pretty tough. He's a qualifier last year. Payne Blackburn was a qualifier 2 years ago.
Cameron Allen beat Payne Blackburn in the semis.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good weight. Connor Holt.
Payne Blackburn was a 26 last year also, right?
Yeah. Both of those guys are pretty darn big for their weight.
Because he used to wrestle Curtis all the time, right?
Yeah. He got the death draw. I think he ran into Watts in the ticket round last year after losing to
Watts.
Yeah, so that was not a fun draw for him. 132, Connor Holt from Plainfield.
You got a lot of tight ones too with he gave Connor Carla from Decatur Central his first loss. Connor Carla won the Marion County at 32.
Yeah. He's pretty solid. I've seen him for the past couple years.
Did he win Marion County? He won something.
Yeah. Where did he win? We can see on track. He won. Yeah, he won the Marion County. He won the whole county. Not the city, though. Yeah, he beat Slivka 10-4 and Deshaun Wilkerson.
Not the city.
Yeah, not the city. He could not conquer the city, but he did conquer the county. 38. Brendan Mattingly. Oh, he beat Landon Bowe in the semis, and then beat Jay Orman in the finals. Manley's back in doing pretty well for after missing a season. So obviously Carmel has some pretty good, nice hammers throughout their lineup. Probably one of the best finals at 145. Jeff Danaski, Jr. and Justice Cash 6'5". That's a good win for Danaski. I know he's right on the cusp
it
of
sounded like
qualifying.
Justice Cash had a good one in December.
Yep, with Jake Schaefer
Yeah.
from Carmel.
I want to say he had a really good summer also.
Yeah. So let's see, 152. I do.
Moses Ham of Terre Haute South beat Anthony Walker of Greenwood. I'm not very familiar with either of those guys. I know that Luke Kemper was on the watch list as a freshman.
Yeah. Okay, there's another Kemper coming up. Jeezy Pete's. Yeah, they're usually pretty good at wrestling too, so that's interesting. 160. John Purdy, freshman from Castle, who's we knew was pretty good.
John Purdy.
Or John, did I say that right? Over Jake Rodert from Seymour.
John Purdy.
The Owls of Seymour. Rodert's pretty solid.
John
wrestler.
Purdy won middle school state last year.
Yeah, he's pretty tough.
John Purdy won a weight last year, and those guys obviously went the other way at middle school state with Cody Goodwin and Orlando Cruz in it.
And the Belmont kid, Duke Myers, who won Super 32. So yeah, that was a pretty tough one.
Meyer, yep.
Yeah.
Duke Myers.
So.
Yeah. That was a good weight, yeah.
Yeah.
170. That's probably a good one. 7'2", Robert Dieters and Gabe Davin.
Yeah, that's a good
I
match.
feel like Noah Minor of Northview has been around forever, man. I feel like that guy.
Yeah, he's one of those that you always see, and you always probably putting him in the rankings there. 182, Brendan McPike with a win over Garrett Sharp from Carmel. That's a good win for him. 95, Kemper, another Kemper over.
Bounce back. Brendan McPike had just lost to Noah White.
Yep.
Zach White.
Yep. Zach White over and
Sudden
Kemper.
victory 3-1.
Yeah.
First loss for Zach White.
Looks like Carmel got put in pretty solid spots in the brackets, so.
Heavyweight was.
Yeah, 220. Micah Dodson.
Nice. Mac broke the Kemper curse there. Quick, Mom.
That's good. I don't know what the Kemper curse is. Maybe winning the tournament. So.
I don't know.
That's
a good weight though, because Dakota Arvin is pretty good. He was 8th. Haken Van Byen was 4. Josh Howell, who was a return state qualifier, was 3rd. Deshaun Young, who I think that's who beat Josh Howell. Yeah. Deshaun Young had a really good match a couple weeks ago with Leighton Jones, and Micah Dotson won it all. So pretty good weight.
Yeah, that was a real good weight, top to bottom.
Probably the deepest weight there.
Yeah, heavyweight.
Just with rankings wise.
Yeah, heavyweight kind of threw everything into it.
Heavyweight's pretty good too.
Yeah. Ray Stewart from Bloomington North wins it, and you have John Williams from Carmel he's been in the rankings. And you had Robbie Gentry and Anton Alexander. Alexander Gentry was a 2-1 tiebreaker. That's a deep weight class right there. That was. Yeah, and Ray Stewart comes out as the 4 seed.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Definitely, and he, I had to create a profile for him, and he jumped into the rankings.
I did not even have Ray Stewart on the watch list.
Yes, so that was a pretty good one. Let's go to Mater Dei. Oops, that's not gonna work. Come on, Mater Dei looks kind of good.
Mater Dei. Bryce Lowry. Yeah, Bryce Lowry had a really good day at 106. Beat Blake Zirkelback, North Posey in the final. Pretty solid Indiana representation in that, top 6 placers. I think Luke Knable beat Reed Egley early on. Then Reed Egley came back, so I don't pull the bracket. I pulled up the final results.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's
Lane Gilbert, dude. I know that Hector was real high on him. Said he's really good. He had a really good match with Cole Ross in the semis.
yes, there. Cole Ross and Gilbert was 5'4". That's
So
pretty
didn't
good.
hurt his ranking. I think he was ranked pretty high.
Looks like there's a lot of the one thing about the Modern Day
Yeah.
Classic is there's a lot of out-of-state teams.
I don't think that dropped him. He's still.
Yeah, a lot of out-of-state teams that it's kind of hard to tell with the Kentucky guys. Kentucky has some good wrestling, but it's always kind of hard to tell whether, okay, a fifth-ranked guy, is he as good as a qualifier or placer in Indiana? And that some of their weights are a little bit deeper, some are a little bit weak, tougher, some are weaker. It's kind of hard to tell, and so it's a good kind of interesting to see some of these results here. Freeman, Alec Freeman won 120. He was down to 20 for the first time.
I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy that Sullivan didn't have Lane. I wasn't happy. So I had Lane in the initial copy of the rankings. We had Lane in there, Lane Gilbert, and then went to Sullivan's track. They didn't have him in the rankings.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be a reason why you don't get in the rankings sometimes. You got to submit that information. It's very crucial. So let's go. Freeman was at 20 for the first time. That kind of helps that. Are you frozen, Mike? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Mike's frozen. Hello there, Mike. I think I might have lost him. Great. We're going to try this again. Some technical difficulties. Here. He's kind of frozen. Give me 1 second. Yeah. We're still talking here. So, yep, Mike will be back here in a second, hopefully. Hey, there you are.
Did you guys jump 4 weights?
We lost you for a second.
Yeah. I want to know the whole thing about how good Lane Gilbert is, too.
We heard, or at least I heard a little bit of that. Yeah, Lane Gilbert's pretty good, and report your results. 120, Alec Freeman made his way down there, which that is kind of a little bit of a game changer at 120 for Modern Day, because Modern Day is kind of good, especially down low. And he beat Haskins in the finals, which is a good win. He also had Chris Newman, who was a state qualifier last year at that weight. Cody Gletherow, who was in the rankings.
And then you had Keegan Williams, who's a really good freshman in there also.
Yeah. So, pretty good weight overall. 126, and that's kind of where we saw the other piece of the puzzle for Modern Day showed up. Ashton Hayhurst, he did not get a good draw. He wrestled Braden Lowry first round there, and that was a pretty good weight class. Lowry lost to Gavin Allstott in the semis, and then from Bellevue West, Josh Coderhan, that's an Illinois team. He beat Allstott in the finals, which means that guy's pretty good. So that's a very interesting weight. And then Lowry beat Hayhurst in again 6'4" in the finals. So pretty good, real good weight class, especially with a lot of guys from the Cotter Hunt from Bellevue was a state runner-up last year, so he's obviously pretty good. That beat Allstott in the finals from Illinois. Any other? You there, Mike? Oh, we are losing Mike. I do not hear him. Uh-oh, we are losing. Hold on a second. Take 2. We lost him again. Not good. Great live audio when we keep losing somebody.
Yeah, keep losing you guys, man.
You got to get the. Okay. So, 26.
Yeah.
Well,
Had Gavin Allstott over Braden Lowry, really good really good win there. Ashton Hayhurst goes right into the lineup for the Mater Dei with Freeman going down. That's going to make them really tough at Team State. They don't have many holes.
Yeah, definitely. As I was saying, Coder Hunt, the guy that won it, was a state runner-up in Illinois over Allstott. So that was just a deep weight class, period. So that's going to be one to.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's real good weight class. 32. Which Kay Negley was runner-up. Bunch of Kentucky guys mixed in there. Sam Slivka with a third-place finish.
Brantley Conrad of Portage. Portage making their first trip down there.
Yeah. And so was Roncalli. Roncalli had been in the Connorsville Classic for a while. Blake Borman at 138 with a close match with Jay Conway.
Yeah, it's an article this week, right?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, the three guys there. That's a very interesting result. Obviously, we don't know exactly everything that happened. We do have videos there, so we might be able to watch that. But definitely, 7-6 can be very interesting. Whether he gave up a late takedown or was straight out barn burner there. So
yeah. Hector said that's who Druce's beat at one. The guy that won 126 that beat Allstott.
Oh wow, that's
the Indiana love in the Illinois side for Colton Druce's.
Yeah. 145, Alec Viduya. He beat Garrett Bowers from Christian Brothers in Tennessee. And Bowers is actually from Indiana. Moved there probably when he was 7th, 8th grade. He's actually from like Northridge, so he could have been in that Northridge lineup, which is pretty good. And he'd actually beaten Bowers at Central Regionals in freestyle. Then Viduya beat him at Fargo.
Viduya, right?
Yeah. So Viduya over Brody Bauman, 7-3. Bauman's another one that's kind of up a couple weight classes from last year. He's enjoying food. 152. Jonathan Curvin over Tice Freegee, 5-4. Obviously, the Floyd Central kids are pretty good at wrestling. And Curvin beat a Payne Carr, which is 1,000 cars from Union County, Kentucky.
If you're Carr and Irvin, right?
Yes. That's the only two last names are allowed on their wrestling team there. 160, Eli Dickens, 5'3".
Big one, though, that we're kind of glossing over at 52 was Scott Fitz was disqualified.
Yes.
Right? He was DQ'd?
Yeah, he was DQ'd as a flagrant, which means not just a DQ for like locking hands or he slammed a guy and the kid couldn't continue. He was DQ'd. It was a 1-0 match with Freegee. And then from what the reports say on the message board that some things were said that weren't pleasant, and he was flagranted, which could possibly mean that he is out for this week, their next event, which would be Team State, and that'd be a big loss. Obviously, someone said they could schedule a duel this week, and that would
go from having a win to a guy that could possibly not have a backup in there.
Yeah,
not good.
Yeah. So that's going to be very interesting there. 60, Dickens over Russelling from Union County, Russelberg. I think he did pretty well at IPO. If I'm not, he was. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was a runner-up
to Graham Calhoun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously that guy's pretty good.
In my discussion on Twitter, I said, well, Eli Dickens he beat Dalton Russelberg. And then they said that Cooper Norrie beat him at Scholastics. So
yeah, so that's
Dalton Russelberg not having a good look against Indiana.
Yeah. 170, Gabe Sollers. I had a good tournament. Owen Seago got 5th, 6th. 6th looks like he did there. He's in the semis. Obviously, there's some.
Jalen Ward was 3rd from Franklin Community.
Yes, we got. Yeah, he had a. He beat Seago. It was by injury. Don't know what happened there. 182. That was won by Irvin from Union County over Parkinson. McCartney Parkinson. Any other good? Willman from North Posey was third. 195. Father Ryan versus Franklin's
Harris Eason, who I also got a message about today.
Yes, and he had Eason had a good win over John McGrew from Modern Day, who's been in the rankings. So he'll probably be creeping in the rankings once we know those results. And then there's another Willman from North Posey, won 220. I don't know if there's any other good results there. The Robinson from
Nathan Woolman. How about Nathan Woolman? I think started as a 13-pounder. So we always talk about dudes eating. I'm pretty sure as a freshman he was a 13.
Oh,
yeah, crazy. I'm pretty positive of that.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, McCray Robinson. So Nathan Woolman undefeated, 23-0.
Yeah.
Probably might have the largest weight gain in the state.
Not much. He can't go much higher or much lower from there. So, and then 285. Damari Dancy lost 1-0 in the finals. Jacob Johnson from Franklin was third, and then Ralph, what's his name? James Ralph from Modern Day was sixth. So that's actually a pretty solid weight. Also, the Gibson Southern Aaron Brevigo was pretty tough there too. So, yeah. So that was a very good. I think North Posey had a pretty good tournament, as Dane alluded to a few minutes ago. They end up finishing sixth. They beat Floyd Central, Portage, and some other good. They're behind Franklin, Christian Brothers, Roncalli, Union County, and Modern Day. That's pretty solid tournament for them, and they're going to be looking at 1A team state and such there. And they even got some misconducts as I was looking through their stuff. So, any other? I guess we're not going to touch too much on North Montgomery. Warren Central ran through there. There's a couple upsets there. 132.
Yeah. Cottingham over Heath.
Yeah, by pin, which is very interesting. Obviously, a pin in 30-some seconds or whatever it was is something that probably was, you won't want to say caught, but put into a bad position early and wasn't able to wrestle through it. So that was very interesting.
Definitely a cool tournament, though. Joanna Anderson over Chris Wilkerson, Reese Loman. Bryce Coleman pinned Cody McClune. Definitely a cool tournament, though. Like I like the format of it. You get to really go through all the results on the dual side the day before. A bunch of guys from Warren wrestled day two. Not a bunch. I say a bunch, but Javion Ross and Antoine Betty didn't wrestle day two, which I would like to see where they ended up at.
Preston Tush beat Jacob Simone. It was a rematch of last year's Friday night match. Then Tush didn't wrestle the second day. That was one that I saw. Let's see.
Dennis Hubbard beat Braden Erb the first day, and then injury defaulted the second day. Then Andrew Irex in there, Antoine Betty over Cottingham. So 32, easy to rank number 1. Very difficult to rank 2 through 7. It's 2 through 7, a little bit tough because you got some guys that are in there that are all over the place. You're talking 2 through 7. You got Cottingham, who lost to Betty who lost upper weight. You got Conley in there, Hayden Watson, Ian Heath, Kane Egley. So hopefully we can get some more clarity going forward with that.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Quit. Make sure you guys win the matches you're supposed to and don't lose the matches you're not supposed to. Okay?
That's just shows the depth, man. The depth. I like it.
Yeah. We have kind of suspended the best decade, best of the decade. We'll start that back up after the holidays season because there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So that'll be suspended until next week. We'll get back on our voting just so you guys kind of wondering where that was. It's kind of hard to do it midweek, and I decided to have Christmas.
Three new number ones, man.
Yes.
Pretty exciting.
Yes.
Not that doesn't happen a lot in mid-season.
No, that's congratulations, Logan Miller. That was one kind of we already had, but we didn't release the rankings last week. Logan Miller and Eli Dickens and what's the third one? I know I saw it. Oh, Graham Calhoun at 170. So congrats to our new number ones. That was our first real new number ones this year. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. You don't normally get a lot of like change in the top 5, but a couple good spots, a couple guys moved up. Like I said, like 132 is like one of those tough ones. The top 5, I think I already had Cheney Schoaf in there, 106, but I knew that he was going to 106. So that weight top 5 is really good. Top 6 is really good. Hayden Brady, that weight pretty good. 13, Alex Cotty, Cole Ross, Jared Brooks with Wabash, Elijah Anthony won this ECIC. I seen Dane calling for some of that.
Yes.
Dominated the ECIC. Lane Gilbert, Brack Hooper, Logan Frazier, pretty good. Zeke Seltzer, Riley Bettich, we didn't change anything there. Bettich over Diaz at the Carnahan, pretty good match. Carson Eldred, Alec Freeman coming down, now he's 5th. Malik Hall, we moved to 20. Until I see him like get an actual thing at 6, at 20, 13, we probably won't move him back. 26, Rio was at 26. Dalton, Allstott, Roberson, Lowry, pretty good.
That's a pretty good top 5. Or top 7 when you've seen 2-time state medalist Kyson Montgomery is number 7. Yeah.
Yeah. Foreman, Bailey, Campbell, Goodwin, Conway, pretty good. Viduya, Ellis, Danansky, AJ Poindexter, Fichter, Coleman, Curvin, Hall, Bowe, Douglas, Freegee. Wall just won the Al Smith. That's top 7 at 52. The weights, the top 5 are really good. Dickens, Norrie, Levitz, Rogers, Asbury. Calhoun, Dieters, Rollman, Fielden, Solers. Walker, Warren, Winter, Kwiatkowski, Lone. Parkinson, pretty good.
Yeah.
Allred, Bates, Laplace, Farrell, Kroonman.
That's a good top 5 right there.
Ooh. Weber, Kale, Streck, Willman. Willman made the biggest jump, unranked to top 4. Will Stewart. I guess he had a win over Will Stewart I wasn't aware of. And then Keys, Hezzy, Eric, Dancy, and Parsons, pretty good top 5 at 100 or 285. So
yeah, there's a lot of good guys. We're gonna have some changes probably this week. We got the big team state stuff going on in Fort Wayne, coming to God's country here. If you need any places to eat, you can ask me. I know a few good places. Just so everyone knows, there will be a draw show on Happy New Year on Wednesday. I believe we're going to try to start about 6 p.m. It'll be on WZBD radio, or we will be doing this on Facebook and probably YouTube at least. That way everyone gets to see it live. Gotta have Dane and Rex Brewer on there with us, and then kind of manning the controls. We're going to have the return of Nick Wiesjohn. He's going to probably kind of making sure things are going correctly technologically. So make sure you guys tune in there. We'll be giving out more information. I assume it's going to be at 6 o'clock-ish Eastern. So that's when we're going to have the draws. And
that's 5 o'clock region time.
Yes. So, you're having your New Year's dinner. You guys can tune in and watch us, and we'll talk about that. I believe the actual radio portion is only going to be about an hour is usually what they get. We might go before and after, maybe pre-show, kind of amp everybody up, and then it's going to be a little bit different because we'll have breaks for commercials and such. So once we get down there, we'll know a little bit more. So if there's a little bit of dead air, that's because they're sending it off to commercials. Maybe we'll have some stuff to talk about between the commercials, some things that you're not going to get on the radio if you're in the greater Decatur area, hearing my voice.
Yeah, we'll take live questions, little Q&A.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk questions, like So I don't know exactly how it's going to go. I know there was a couple-minute break for commercials a few times, so Dane has it all planned out. I'm sure it's very well structured because it has to be for radio. So I'm looking forward to that. And we'll be live. We'll be on the Facebook, so you don't have to worry about it. So any other comments? I think that's all I had on my list. Oh yeah, Brownsburg at Illinois. Before we forget about that one.
Oh yeah. So they just wrestled the same guys that Crown Point wrestled like before, except for a Wisconsin team, and they beat the same team that Wisconsin wrestled, which was pretty cool. Yeah. They wrestled DeKalb and they wrestled Oak Park River Forest, and we were kind of texting back and forth when DeKalb wrestled Crown Point. They were missing Fargo runner-up and another guy you said, a state champ?
A state champ replacer. Curran, I believe, and then yeah. So Garcia, they were missing
Nick Garcia. We said.
Yeah. Let me see. There it is. I bring up the email. Danny Curran, who was a state placer, and then 2018 state champ Fabian Lopez, who was at 45. Curran, I think, was like a 13 or 20 pounder, if I'm not mistaken, and they both wrestled against Brownsburg. And Brownsburg, I think they beat them a little less than Crown Point did. So that tells us absolutely nothing other than a lot of those teams are really close to each other. So if you want to try, I mean, obviously they've wrestled each other. So Kern got.
Marcos Luke said Kern got injured in the match with Crown Point or before. And said Fabian wasn't making weight. But those dudes went out there, and it's crazy that they wrestled the same exact teams that Crown Point had wrestled a couple weeks before. Especially right after Crown Point and Brownsburg just basically wrestled an advanced duel.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Brownsburg's going out and got some real good competition. They went up to Michigan and wrestled that grappler Gold. Then they went out there and wrestled in Illinois.
Yeah, they've been to, well, they went to Ohio earlier in the season too. So they haven't spent much time in Indiana. And then they end up losing. They beat Oak Park 42-32, and then they beat DeKalb 31-25, and Curran was at 32. So that would have been. He would have had to wrestle some Jesse guy, some Jesse dude.
Yeah, he wasn't winning that one, I don't think.
No, so
I seen Nico. So I went back and looked to see if Nico Bolivar wrestled Drake Campbell, but he didn't. He cut to 32.
Yeah.
So he's at 32 now for Oak Park River Forest. I was interested to see that result with Campbell, since Campbell had been wrestling so well, and then he wasn't even there.
Yeah. So and
he wrestled Singh. I think his name's Singh, right?
Yeah.
C-Bar Singh or something for Brownsburg.
Yeah, and then Brownsburg end up losing to Makwangango out of Wisconsin, which I don't know much about them, other than they must have a pretty solid.
I should ask Nick or Zach Pearson up in Wisconsin. Should ask him.
Yeah, they'd probably get a little bit better.
Said Jesse did wrestle Curran in Texas.
Ah, okay. So yeah, all the fun stuff that we get to learn here. So anyway, we will probably be wrapping this up because it's been almost 2 hours. So it's a good all 2-hour episode here. So
been a lot to talk about.
Yes, definitely, and then we'll have a lot more to talk about next week after Team State. Hopefully we kept you guys interested for this time. I'm just trying to find those other duels. So
thanks, Jeremy.
Yes.
They said there's 2 Currans. Jesse wrestled the better.
Okay. So yeah, that's I'm looking for that. Anyway, any other parting words before we get off here? Other than we're gonna be back in a couple days, so you guys can't miss us too much.
That'll be more Team State stuff. So good luck, Dane, doing this seeding. Should be pretty interesting. I think the 3A is going to be bananas. I'm a little disappointed. Crown Point's not in there. I know they declined. But I think they have a team that would be able to compete. It would make it even better. Would be an even better event. Because I think that they're definitely a top 4 team, top 4 maybe 5 team, depending overall how we got seeded. But I was disappointed that the region's not going to be represented in the 3A again.
Yeah,
but
that they're holding out, so
kind of any of the A's.
Yeah.
We're not represented at all, huh?
Are they?
We don't have a 2A team, and we don't have a.
You guys can claim like Wawa C and stuff, I guess, if you want to.
No, those are South Bend, man. I just told you. Anything outside of Porter County, and we barely can claim Chesterton. Like a real hardcore region rats don't even claim Chesterton and Lowell.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got.
So no region flavor for the team state.
Yeah. Well, the region's made up of mainly a lot of 3A schools, so that's going to be, you got Maryville and Crown Point and Chesterton. And if they don't accept or they don't get in, then you guys are kind of out of it.
Well, Hobart was on the vote, and they didn't get in.
And Hobart, yep.
I think Hobart's a really good team. They've been injured.
Yeah.
They were on the vote in. I gave them a vote. I'm not shy about my vote. But I didn't think I did a live vote. I think I emailed the vote in like a chump.
Nice. So, with that, we will let everyone go. It's time for bed. I got to work tomorrow morning, so for a day, and then I get 2 days off, and then.
Me too.
So, hope everyone had a great holiday, and
Me too.
We will be back Wednesday. So tune in about 6 p.m. Maybe we'll get a little pre-show going on. I don't know what we're gonna do. We haven't totally planned it out too well. So we'll figure out. It'll be a surprise.
We don't plan these out at all.
Yeah, it's a surprise to you guys. It's gonna be a surprise to us. So hey, it's a surprise all around how exactly this stuff's gonna go. So maybe we'll get some off the air comments next week. Or on Wednesday. We'll keep it diplomatic, unlike Michael Poppy. And maybe we'll show Mike Poppy doing a hula hoop. I heard he's really good at it.
I don't even know what that is. That's funny.
Oh, you haven't seen? Oh, I'll send you the link. So, okay. Well, we will let everyone go, and we'll see you guys Wednesday.